Thanks for joining me. I'm Corel Painter Master Aaron Rutten, and in this video, I'm going to demonstrate how to use the 4 brushes I created for October 2018 by creating a painting using only those brushes. So let's go ahead and get started. If you'd like to download these brushes, you can get them at aaronrutten.com. The download page is now hosted on Dropbox, so it's super easy to download these brushes. For example, you can see I can go here to New Brushes, and then you can see here's the new brushes, the updated box files, and updated brushes. If we look in New Brushes, then you can see each of the new brushes here. I've gone ahead and created a new canvas here inside of Corel Painter, and I thought today it would be nice to start with a black canvas, and we'll do kind of a creepy Halloween landscape. The 4 brushes I created in October are the Cylinder Pen and Contrast Pen, which are found in the Rendering palette. And then if we move on down to the Blenders palette, there's a blender called Rake Blender. And then in Thick Paint, there is Thick Grass Blades. So let's go ahead and start with the Cylinder Pen. Now the Cylinder Pen gets its colors from a gradient. You could go to Window, Palette Drawers, and then choose Gradients. And then if you look in Gradient Libraries, then you could choose a gradient here. So for example, if I choose Field of Grass, and I paint a stroke, I'm getting the colors from that gradient. If I choose Orange Flame, then I'm getting the colors from that gradient. If I tilt my pen, I'm also going to get a broader stroke, and if I keep it more upright, then I'm just going to get kind of a cylindrical line like this. That's where the name Cylinder Pen comes from. If I make a bigger brush and paint a stroke, you can see it's very three-dimensional and cylindrical. Another option is just to choose the gradient that's called Main to Additional Color. And if you only plan on using 2 colors in your gradient, this should work fine. So I'm going to go ahead and close the gradients. And I'm going to choose a color for my main color. Let's say we want it to be something like this. We can toggle to our additional color with this button here. And we can pick a color for that. Let's say we're going to have it be kind of a dark purple like this. Go ahead and do a test stroke and we'll see what we get. Something like that looks pretty good. Now you'll notice that the lighter color is on the bottom. If you want to reverse that, just click on Swap Colors. Now that lighter color will be on top. So what we're going to do here is we're going to create some creepy clouds. So we'll just paint in like this. Some interesting little cloud shapes. You can use lighter pressure if you want thinner lines, or use heavier pressure if you want thicker lines. You can also tilt your pen. You don't want to tilt it too much or you'll get something like that, but you can tilt it just a little bit to broaden those strokes. Add a little bit of depth and dimension to these clouds and have them look kind of creepy with these little things that come off of them here. I think that'll work for the creepy clouds. I'll go ahead and name that layer Clouds. And let's go ahead and put in a new layer for a moon. I'm going to choose a different color here. Let's choose kind of a pale yellow. Toggle to our other color here. Let's try something like this. I think that looks pretty good. So we're going to have our light source coming from over here on the top left. I'm going to try to keep my pen pretty upright there and put in a little moon. If we want it to be bigger, we can just make our brush bigger. And you could just paint it in like this and then move it wherever you want it. And you could transform it if that makes it easier to get it exactly the size that you want it. Of course, we want the moon to be behind the clouds. Now, if you're not 100% happy with the colors here, you can always go to Effects, Tonal Control, Adjust Colors. And you can adjust the colors if you like. I might add some saturation to that and a little bit of value to brighten it up a bit more. Let's add a new layer. Let's call this Land. And let's use that same Cylinder Pen. We'll go ahead and sample the color we're using for the clouds. Let's make it slightly different. We'll swap colors to our other color here. We'll sample one of the shadow colors from our clouds, maybe make the shadows a bit darker. And we'll use a big brush. We'll put in some land like this. It's okay if we keep that light color on the bottom. That'll just help separate all these different elements here. Let's go ahead and make our color a bit darker for both colors. We'll shift the hue a little bit. We can put in a little hill that comes up like that. Just go back and forth a few times to build it up. Almost looks kind of like sand dunes. If you wanted to, you could use a smaller brush to put in little rocks and stones and boulders. Let's go ahead and make our color a bit darker. We can put in some darker rocks now. And we'll make our color a bit lighter. Now it's almost starting to look kind of like a beach. Let's add a little bit of grass now. Let's create a new thick paint layer. And I'm going to select thick grass blades. We'll do a test stroke here. You can see it makes these nice grass blades if we build it up. I think that's a bit too light, so I'm going to darken it until I get something that I think works well. I think that looks nice. So I'll go ahead and just clear this layer. And here and there in a few areas, I'm going to build up some nice grass. Now I'm going to paint kind of diagonally and have these grass blades fan out a bit. Less is more with this brush. If you build it up too much, it starts to kind of mess up the grass blades. You can also use your Wacom art pen if you want to support rotation, and you can change the angle. That can be really helpful. This is a great way to get subtle grass blades. And these grass blades have thickness to them, so you can control the paint thickness. You can control the length as well by controlling the loading. So if you want to add more loading to your brush, you can do that. But a little goes a long way. For example, it's at 1, but now if I set it to 3, then you can see it ruins the effect of the brush. So even a setting of 2 will give you longer grass blades, and 1 will give you shorter grass blades. I find that 1 works a lot better, and then if you just build them up to drag them out, that works fine too. But you can be pretty spontaneous about it. Just kind of pepper it in like this. You have to be careful because occasionally you'll get these horizontal marks. You can also layer it up. You can create additional thick paint layers. I could choose a darker color. I can put in some darker grass, and then I can overlap that lighter grass without accidentally blending it or smudging it. And if we have a nice balance of light and dark, that'll really help the grass stand out and look realistic. Go back to that other layer, get our lighter color back, add in some light on top of the dark. I think that gives a pretty nice grass effect. I'll go ahead and name these layers, grass light and grass dark. Beneath those layers, I'm going to add another thick paint layer. Call this land details. And we can also use this brush side to side like this to scrub in some little details and ripples. You can use this to highlight some of the edges, create some different contours. Just works kind of like a palette knife. Instead of pulling out grass blades, you're pulling out little details. You could sample these darker colors, and you could put in some darker colors as well. Then, of course, you could reduce the opacity of that layer if you want it to be a bit more subtle. That just adds a little bit of texture to the land. Now let's go back to those clouds, and let's blend those clouds a little bit. First, we'll set the composite method to gel cover, and then we'll choose the rake blender. Now, if we just blend over these clouds, you can see it breaks up the edges and makes them fractal. You can make those fractals larger if you make your brush larger. So I'll just do a few quick taps with a big brush, just to break them up a little bit, but not too much. Then I can go in with a smaller brush and go along those edges and break those up. Now I want to make those clouds look a little more distant, so I'm going to go to Effects, Focus, Soften. We'll use Gaussian, and we'll use a setting of around 8 or 9. We should add a little bit of dimension to our sky, so let's go back to that canvas layer. Let's select the cylinder pen. Let's go ahead and use this midnight blue color for our main color, and for our secondary color, we'll use kind of a purplish color like this. We'll start here at the bottom, and we'll just go back and forth like this. We'll go ahead and blur that. We'll go to Effects, Soften. We'll blur that up quite a bit. And it gives us a creepy, foggy background. Now on top of all the other layers, let's go ahead and add a new layer. We'll call this Trunk, and we'll make a creepy tree trunk. Let's use Cylinder Pen for that. Let's go ahead and select a bluish color like this for our main color. And then for our additional color, we'll choose a really dark blue like this. Do a test stroke. We'll use a bigger brush. We'll put in a nice creepy tree like this. Have some branches go in front of the moon like that. We can make our brush smaller. We can draw some finer limbs that come off of that. I'm using pen pressure here to make my brush taper off. I'm using fairly slow strokes. I'm going to make an even finer brush. And we'll use that just to put in a few little twigs here. I think that looks pretty good for our creepy tree. Now, if we want to add some detail to that tree, we can go ahead and choose Select Layer Content to put a selection around that tree trunk shape. We'll create a new layer. I'm going to call that new layer Trunk Detail, and I'm going to set it to a composite method of overlay. I'm going to hide the selection edges. And now I'm going to use the fourth and final brush, which is Contrast Pen. Now this works similar to the cylinder pen. It can use the two colors here or a gradient. So what we're going to want is we're going to want white and black, or a very dark or a very light color. Now if I paint here on the tree, you can see that what it's going to do is it's going to add this contrast. The light against the dark creates a three-dimensional kind of veiny effect. You could use this for cracks. Now, depending on which direction you use it, you're going to have the light on one side and the shadow on the other. So if you want it to look like a crack, then you'll have the shadow facing the light source. If you want it to look like it's bulging out, you'll have the highlight facing the light source. And depending on the direction that you paint with this brush, you can flip that orientation. So if I paint mostly upward, I'm going to get a bulge. If I paint mostly downward, I'm going to get a crack. Now, we don't need to worry about it too much on the smaller branches here, just mainly on the trunks. Let's go back to that trunk layer, and let's create a new thick paint layer above that. And let's select our thick grass blades. We'll go ahead and set the composite method of that layer to multiply. And let's reduce the opacity. It just adds a little bit of texture to the tree. I'm just using my Wacom art pen here, rotating it in different directions and just kind of scrubbing back and forth so that our tree isn't just one flat color. Now, of course, you could use any brush to do this, but I want to limit my painting to just these brushes I created for October. You could also try overlay as the composite method. I think I like overlay better. I'm going to create one more layer here. I'm going to call this plants. Let's use the cylinder pen. We'll need to deselect our active selection that's hidden by going to select none. Do a test stroke. Let's go ahead and sample this color from the tree, swap the color, and choose a darker color here. We'll go back to our lighter color and we'll change it just a bit. We can use this over here to draw in some more little dead trees and branches and limbs and things like that. So you don't want to go too fast with this brush because what will happen is you'll get this repeating dot pattern. It won't look like a solid line. You even have some branches laying on the ground here, as if they've broken off of something. I think that's looking pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and just merge down these tree layers by selecting them all. And I'll use Control-E on my keyboard to merge them. We'll go ahead and click on OK. I'll name those merged layers Trunk. And then I'm going to go to Effects, Adjust Colors. Might shift the hue a little bit, add a little bit of saturation and darken it. I think that looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and go to the clouds layer, and let's change that from gel cover to normal. I think that blends better with the background. Let's go to Effects, Adjust Colors. We'll set the clouds to something kind of like that. Let's go to the canvas layer now. Let's adjust those colors. Make it just a bit more purple here. And we'll go to the land details in the land. We'll merge those together. And we'll adjust those colors. And we'll go ahead and merge the grass together. And we'll adjust those colors. I'm going to go to the moon layer. I'm going to right click on it and duplicate it. Call that layer Glow. And I'm going to go to Effects, Focus, Soften. We'll set it to circular and we'll increase the amount to 100%. We'll have the glow be underneath the moon. And we'll set the composite method of the glow layer to screen. You could also try moving it above the clouds if you wanted to kind of peek through the clouds. I actually think I like that better. Could even take it and put it above the trunk. It cuts through the trunk like that. But I think I'll have the trunk kind of block it a little bit. And I think with that, we have a finished creepy landscape painting just in time for Halloween. If you want to download these brushes to use in your artwork, you can get them at aaronrutten.com. There's a link in the description of this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.